So returning to our Storm Station 7 weather alert, we made it to double digits today, but wind chills making it feel like it's well below zero.
And as the sun sets, we're only going to see those temperatures drop again. Let's get to Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson with what the temps are looking like now, Mike.
Well, we started at 14 below this morning, a new all-time record. It's 11 degrees right now. Unfortunately, the top of the hour, the winds are light, so there's no wind chill out there. But across the Front Range, a huge contrast in temperature. Already down to 8 degrees up at Brighton. It's going to be down to below zero again up in Weld County around Greeley. Much milder off to the west, but it's out to the west that it's snowing hard up that way. And meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen taking Storm Tracker 7 into the high country.
Yeah, Mike, the flakes are getting bigger, the visibility is being reduced, and the snow is once again covering the roads here in Summit County and Eagle County. You're looking at a live picture here. I'm in Frisco right now. You can see the roads being covered with snow. The flakes are getting pretty big here. The I-70 is also covered with snow from Georgetown all the way to Vail. Now, the flakes are coming down. It looks like it's almost at about an inch per hour already, maybe a little bit more than a half inch per hour. So we're looking at some pretty good snowfall totals as we go into the night here. Loveland Pass is closed right now, so expect periodic closures of Eisenhower Tunnel as they let hazardous materials go through there. But right here in Frisco, it's 24 degrees. It's actually a good 10 degrees or so warmer than it is down at 5280 in Denver. But right now I'm in Frisco reporting in Storm Tracker 7. I'm meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen.
Thanks, Corey. Of course, we all dreaded that I-70 drive up to the high country. This is what road conditions are like right now. You can see outside, it just looks messy out there. We've seen plenty of closures and backups because of the ice and snow, and of course, heavy traffic as well. 7 News reporter Lindsay Watts talking with State Patrol today. Lindsay, it's going to try something new to make that drive a little less dreadful.
And one issue that State Patrol is trying to tackle is trucks driving without the required chains. We have seen how jackknife semis can cause hours of delays. We've seen that this week, and State Patrol says that it's going to be adding extra enforcement specifically here along I-70 to make sure trucks are chained up when they're supposed to be. I'm told additional troopers will be honing in on the I-70 corridor this year. Drivers can be fined from about $600 to more than $1,100 for not following chain laws. Still, we do see those lawbreakers. Even before the weather got bad last month, State Patrol did a special enforcement, checking to see if truckers were carrying chains as required between September and May. You will not believe how many violations they found in just 2 days.
As a matter of fact, during one of our enforcement operations during the weekend of October 18th and 19th, we wrote over 150 chain law violation citations.
And because I-70 was just so problematic last year, both State Patrol and CDOT are working on a lot of new ways to improve efficiency, and some of those could save you some money. I'll be breaking those down coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. We're live along I-70. Lindsay Watts, 7 News.
And women struggling to find a warm place to sleep now have one in Fort Collins. A church there is opening up as an emergency shelter. Major King joins us live. And Major, there's a growing need for space in Fort Collins.
Yeah, Eric, it's a problem for a city of any size. What to do with the homeless folks in the event of bitterly cold weather like we have tonight. Last night, the Fort Collins City Council voted unanimously to approve a temporary shelter by overruling a zoning variance to allow for a temporary overflow shelter at this church behind me, Community of Christ Church, to allow women to stay there for the next 4 months. Shelter providers say it's the right thing to do for now.
We tend to fill up when it gets cold.
When the temperature drops,
it's hard to get places to live, and that's a major thing around here.
And you've nowhere to go.
We'll sleep 30 men tonight on this floor.
There have been 2 safe choices in the Choice City. Starting next week, there will be 3.
We really need this shelter to be open and for it to be a women's shelter.
The Fort Collins Rescue Mission cooperates with the Mission at Catholic Charities nightly, moving folks from one shelter to another to accommodate the greatest need for people like Lori Mudry.
You know, they help us get jobs and help us get our lives together, basically, so we can go back into the community. And
what it means is we can provide women with shelter for the winter, and it keeps us from having to have cold weather related deaths in the city.
Both permanent shelters will continue to focus on the real task at hand, providing not only heat and hope, but a structured program to change lives.
We empower through encouraging education and employment, assistance in that to try to get folks to just get their life back.
It is estimated there are 400 homeless in Fort Collins, though Jim Carmack says those numbers are on the rise. Last winter, there were no homeless deaths over the cold season due to exposure to the cold. Expect the temporary women's shelter here to open in the next 5 to 7 days. Reporting live in Fort Collins, Major King, 7 News.
All right, thanks, Major. And the Denver Rescue Mission seen a record amount of people at its shelters because of these freezing temperatures we're seeing here. The mission telling 7 News, between its 3 different shelters in the Denver area, there were nearly 600 homeless men using their beds overnight, but most of them staying at the Lawrence Street shelter. Now, according to the mission, the numbers have been increasing since Monday. Now, let's go back over to Mike Nelson now. And Mike, those temperatures are already starting to drop.
They are, Eric, but I don't think they're going to drop nearly as cold as last night. We'll get a quick chill this evening, dropping down to the single digits, maybe even below 0 on the northeast side of the Denver metro area. Then we're going to start to see those temperatures stabilize by about 9 to 10 o'clock, and they may actually rise slightly early tomorrow morning as we will see readings back above freezing on Friday.